Hey you guys, this is Ryan Aranda here. Welcome back to the channel. I just want to give you guys an update, and we're going to be going over as well today. Is the American Dream dead? I think you guys already probably know my answer, but we're going to try to break it down a little bit. We're also going to dive into a video of one of my subscribers. She doesn't have any other subscribers besides myself here, but wonderful lady. I'm not going to give away too much right off the bat. Um, but real quick, let's see. So okay, I do want to mention I'm on my MacBook and I'm trying this new feature of screen filming this from the screen. So if I run into issues, try to work with me, or I might just edit them out. But I try not to do too much editing because I want you guys to see my authenticity and just like anything I'm learning in the moment. I want you guys to to feel my authenticity and just like I don't want to be like too choppy and stuff and just you guys thinking like I'm just trying to tell you what you want to hear, etc., etc. Anyway, so I'm not going to give you my life story again. I've done that in pretty much almost every single video to an extent. But just the super quick version. I've been going to Paraguay for 12 years, and I am moving there permanently in 1 month from now, 4.5 weeks to be exact. It feels very close, and it is very close. Um, and actually, let me go back to full screen for a second. So, um, yeah, so I'm 4.5 weeks out. We're in the last week of May here. I will be getting to Paraguay on July 1st, and that's when my new life starts. I'm currently in Wisconsin, finishing up everything, man. All my logistical stuff, finishing up right now, um, and I'm feeling pretty good about everything. And it's so much to tackle though, you guys. Even all the stuff I had on a list, I had to make like a whole separate list. Like, oh shoot, I still got to do this and this and this and this and this, and all this stuff. This is gonna be going in the next 2 3 weeks. So I kind of wanted to also get a video out here when at least there's some sort of background for you guys. Um, this stuff is actually pretty up here. This stuff is pretty special. Actually, my brother, you can't really see it, but this is a cutting board. It's in the shape of a toucan. It's from Costa Rica. So my brother's a traveler as well. He has a very my brother from here in the U.S. He's him and his wife are wonderful people, and they just have such a great appreciation for the world. My sister as well, who's also adopted from Paraguay. She has a great appreciation for the world, different cultures, in particular Paraguay. And and she actually I'll just quickly mention that she actually met her biological family as well. Well, she didn't meet them, but she got in contact with them. That's something that I actually helped her out with. Actually my first trip 12 years ago. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. But right above that is a thermal, infamous thermal, right here, infamous thermal, um, that every single Paraguayo has. So if you guys go to the country, you're gonna be wondering what is everybody carrying around. Well, it's a thermos, and it's gonna be full of ice. We drink ice cold tea all day because it's the hottest country in South America, damn near one of the hottest in the world. So people like sip on that stuff just to survive, man. The heat. I'm going to be arriving on July 1st, so that's Southern Hemisphere. That's technically their winter. It's going to be very nice, cool. I'm not just jumping straight into the dead of the heat of the summer, which is very nice. Um, so yeah, so that's everything so far. And besides that, I just had my 33rd birthday last week, 1 week ago to the day. So yeah, I'm 33, and it was really cool getting a lot of uh, a lot of well wishes. And well, actually, just a few days before that, I had kind of my going away party with my family and then my friends at nighttime. And it was really cool, man. Like I honestly didn't want the fanfare. I didn't want none of it. But my mom, she just she thought it was I agreed, but that it was a good opportunity for our family our extended family to get together, because we haven't really done that since COVID. So yeah, I had a wonderful family, man, that came up from Texas, California, Iowa, Minnesota. Um, I mean, not just for me, but for the family reunion. But man, it was cool. Like, and none of them were too like pressuring me about like too many questions. Yes, there was like all the obvious ones, but nah, man, it was cool. It was really cool. And like, especially because like I just don't know when I'm gonna see people again, man. Like everybody's invited, like in my family, and I mean that wholeheartedly. To Paraguay, for sure, for sure, for sure. Um, but it could be years. I don't know. Even my own parents, they think they're gonna try to visit next April, so probably like a year out. Since when I'll be there, right? So yeah, man, that's what's been going on in my life. It's I know my last video. Okay, actually, here, this is what I was gonna go into my last content. Just a tiny little recap. So this last video that you guys see right here. Let me try to make this a little bit bigger, if I can. Yeah, so this video um that I have on my channel, the hardest part of leaving the USA and moving abroad. I get pretty deep into some stuff, for sure. I won't do a full breakdown or nothing right now, but I go into the logistical stuff, but then all of that is more the emotional stuff, the stuff you got to deal with on a personal level, man. The settling up your emotional debt, that was a big kind of theme of it, right? Because you don't want to be taking your bullshit nowhere else in the world, man. And especially us Americans, man. Like we be acting a fool when we be getting like overly emotional and stuff, men and women. Guys, don't just say it's the women. It's a lot of us too. Shoot, you know what I mean? But anyways, no, man, when I did this video, I was kind of down and out, man. I'm not gonna lie. Um, you know, but that's real life, man. That you guys are following me in real time in my journey is super cool. And that's the next thing I was gonna say. I mean, I'm sorry I didn't say it right off the bat, but thank you so much to all of you guys. Right now, let's just look. I'm at 230 subscribers, but like I said last video, I take none of you guys for granted, and especially because my channel is so personal about life and stuff. I mean, you guys have been hitting me up in email, Instagram, commenting in, and like giving a real like testimony of your lives too, and like man, it's just so cool to see. And when I started this channel, I compare it to starting like a nightclub or a Latin night, like I did in the past at a bar I worked at. And when I did that and I organized it and I got the DJs like working there and stuff, man, it was a cool project, and like it was popping in my city. You know what I mean? Anyways, so when I started that, I was like, damn, is anybody gonna show up? Anybody gonna show up? And then it got so popping that like there was like lines like out the door, like type stuff. We were at capacity like every single time. I had VIP stuff since I started the night, so I could just walk in and out. I could go to the back door or whatever. It didn't matter, man. It was cool for me and my homies and stuff, and whatever girls we was with at the time. But anyways, no, so that's how this YouTube channel felt like, because I just started it. First video was like December 28th, a couple days before the new year. So now we're like, what, 5.5 months out. And man, it's cool. Some of you guys might think this is a low number. Some of you guys might think it's a high number. I really don't care. All I know is that there are real human beings hitting me up, and it's really cool. And you guys are from all around the world, and it's not just men. Even though YouTube says it's just men, I mean, I don't know what YouTube is getting these numbers, but it's not. They're women commenting in, hitting me up as well. And it's super cool because we all come together because we're like-minded individuals. Some of you guys are just travelers, which is cool. Some of you guys just want to experience Paraguay for a little bit. and some of you guys are really, really wanting uh, to to relocate and settle, right? Um, and man, it's super super cool. Just me because I actually brought this up in a just because I if you guys start following me on my Instagram, I do a lot of stories, and that's because I like to play around with Canva, which is like a graphic design thing. So I like to like find like scenery, and then I like to put my thoughts out there and stuff. Just like whether I'm like poo pooing about like the United States and the degeneracy going on in our effed up economy up in the U.S. or other Western economies, whatever. But like I just put up my stuff out there. But anyway, so I put something personal out there. I think on my channel, maybe it was just my personal thing. But like, man, I remember as a kid, dude, like when I used to say where I was from, because I was always that kid like where nobody knew where I was from, right? Like I had nobody, man. Um, well, there was actually a group of kids of adopted kids that we did meet up with like in elementary school. I don't even know why that stopped, to be honest. But we never like really got super connected like in like culturally or anything like that. And only a very few like a handful of adopted kids actually like take the steps like I did to like make contact, meet their family, go down that whole road and all that. Anyways, like I just remember, man, so many people would not know where Paraguay was. So many people couldn't even get the continent right. So many people would get it mixed up with like Portugal, somewhere in Africa. Like nobody knew where I was. Some kids even made fun of me from being like from a weird place with a weird name and all that stuff. And it's just so like it's kind of what I was talking to Aaron about in the conversation we were having. Like that's the kind of BS you grow up with in the U.S. as a like a as a kid of color, and especially like where like nobody knows where you're from, and they throw a lot of like weird jokes and stuff around you, and you can deal with that, but like there comes the days where you just don't want to deal with that, and you're like, man, I don't want to be othered, man, forever and ever. But anyways, so like now it's just like, dude, people want to know about my country. People want to like visit. People want to move there, and I'm like, I mean, it's just so backwards for what everything used to be, man. Everything is just flipped on its head, like absolutely everything, man. Um, never mind. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, and that's the world we're living in, and that's what we're gonna talk about here in a second. After I kind of do my reaction to a certain subscriber's video here, and I didn't want to follow a man this time, and I actually wanted to go back. I'm not gonna say too much at this second, but um, yeah, I think that's it for now. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was talking about you subscribers. So, yeah, you guys are wonderful. You guys are super diverse group of people. I mean, you guys are hitting me up from Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Canada, many places in the U.S. like Southern California, Texas, Queens, or I think Queens, New York, or I think you got family who lives in Queens, New York, Miami, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. I mean, you guys are hitting me up from everywhere, man, and it's super super cool. Like for me, like man, you know, um, if you guys want consultations, I'll absolutely I'll sit down with you for 2 hours, man. Whatever, I don't care. Maybe throw me something, or if I start getting a lot of those requests, I probably actually will like charge a amount. But nah, man, just like tip me or something if you want to do that, or just shoot me email with a couple of questions. I get back to you guys. IG kind of like Instagram kind of like be hiding messages, so it doesn't really alert me that well. So if I don't get back to you right away on Instagram, it's because it's weird, man. It like throws in that one thing, and I don't really know how to fix it. Uh, or whatever, I'll figure it out in the settings. But yeah, just reach in or comment in and be like, hey, man, I sent you a message or something. Like one guy did. Um, yeah. So yeah, you worldwide peoples are amazing, man. And especially a lot of you guys are going through it yourselves in different ways. You're really wanting to start over. Like I don't know, a couple of you guys have got hard breakups. Actually, after that last video I did, a few of you reached out, told me about like your breakup stories, your divorce stories, your horror stories. Like, dang, man. And that's exactly what I'm talking about to the younger guys who are watching this channel. See, all of us older guys, yeah, we've all been through it, man, in one way or another. And if you stay on these tasks, if you go fall in love with a country, get your residency, man. Don't be waiting either, man, because this stuff is getting more and more and more popular. There's a reason my channel is growing relatively fast for the small amount of videos I have, right? Um, and people are more curious about affordable living. I mean, you can go as frugal as you want, but even like I live pretty dang frugal. But even that only gets you so far. And actually, in fact, I will say it too. Um, it's super crazy, man, because I swear to God, I have like the rat race, like trying to like keep me here / pull me in. And I'm not talking about people's opinions. I'm talking about like institutions, because I work for the biggest institution in the state right now. I work for the Department of Health Services up in my state. And I get reached out by recruiters from other institutions, state institutions, and even other private companies, because I do kind of have my information, on Indeed and LinkedIn and that kind of thing. So I actually am getting hit up because I am kind of making my way up, like, in my professional career, in my 9 to 5 thing, um, and like, some offer. I haven't got like a firm offer, but at least like they're like, reaching out to me, hey, would you like the position? And I see the salary, like, damn. Okay, I'm staying these states. No, I'm just playing. I'm not staying. No, there's not a number they could pay me, man, to keep me here. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even care if I would have the biggest house here anymore. Wouldn't care. The nicest car. Wouldn't care. Why? Because I'm not at peace, man. It's like, and then you got to play the whole game about dating, and then hopefully finding the right one who won't divorce you or break up with you over some BS. And that whole thing. And it's like, nah, man. And that same stuff can still happen to you in Paraguay for sure. But, it's not as bad statistically. It's not as bad, like, of an experience. You're going to be way more respected. Like, it's just, I mean, I'm not going to go down that whole rabbit hole right now. Maybe later. For you guys who want me to talk even more about dating, I'm like, dang, you guys really want me to talk more about dating? Shit, I already have like a ton. No, but I totally will though. And oh man, especially in my walk and talks. I mean, like, I'm gonna, I'm gonna try my best to reunite and with my woman down there, um, you know, and see if we can pick up where we left off. We're trying, but who knows? It's hard to predict anything these days, man. But I'm going in with the right attitude. Like, hey, let's try it. Don't work. Fuck it. I'll be in Paraguay. You know what I mean? I'll be where I probably am the most successful in the world dating, like personally, or maybe Philippines, because I guess every man is like just incredibly lucky in the Philippines. When you're going. Anyways, my bad. Another tangent, you guys. Okay, so let's get on track here. Is the American dream dead? And when I say American dream, man, I'm talking about the entire Western world dream, right? I'm talking about, like, there's guys in France, there's guys in the UK, there's guys in, and not just guys, but there's people, right? We're all feeling the crunch in all of our Western countries. In fact, I got a rant from one of you guys from Australia. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting your name, brother. But like, you hit me up and you're just like, man, I'm so sick of like our surveillance government, our high cost of living, like the degeneracy around here. I'm like, you sound like every single American from any state of any ideology. You know what I mean? So like, we're all feeling it, everybody. And this is exactly why you guys gotta get on residency, por favor. Because if you wait, laws could change. You know what I mean? Things could get more expensive. They might start having solvency, like Mexico, requirements, like, oh, you can't come unless you make $70,000, and you got to maintain that $70,000. You can't just dip down and then maybe dip back up. I don't think Paraguay will get there, to be honest, but I mean, I don't know. Tens of thousands of applications later, they might make it harder. I don't know. I wish I did. I wish I could see the future and be like, hey, just to let you know, I got a insider in Congress, which I totally don't. But I might one day. Who knows? But just keep it ethical, though, you guys. No. Anyways, okay. So let's dive into, and this is the surprise here. Semi-surprise. Let's see. I don't know what I'm doing, man. Okay. So this is the wonderful lady videos we're gonna be watching. Wonder if I can watch it and bring up my little thing here. Sorry, you guys. First time for everything. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'll quickly mention. I think I'm not positive, but I think that like months or maybe even like a couple years ago, I think YouTube actually took me to her channel because I was just like in travel content, just like a lot of you guys, right? Like looking about like everybody's been going everywhere in the world, especially Latin America. So I think I actually saw part of it. I don't know if I watched it all the way through, but I think I saw her video. I want to say a couple years ago. I didn't save it, and ironically, she's one of my subscribers now. Lenna Dallin. I'm sorry, ma'am, if I'm completely messing up your name. But actually, here okay. We're just gonna dive right into her videos because she pretty much predicts the future. And if you guys are seeing the timestamp of when she did these videos.
Hello, my name's Lenna Dallin, and I'd like to read the dream.
Lenna Dallin. Okay, she says her name. Okay. So anyways, we're you might have already seen the year that she did record this, right? What am I doing here, you guys? I'm sorry. Whatever. I'll just put it off to the side. Actually, I think if I can do that. Yeah, this is what we'll do. Okay. Okay. So I'm not going to give it away yet unless you already saw the timestamp that she actually did do this video. But she very much predicts the future, and I don't think she realizes how much she is. And, she is not, she'll let us know in a moment. She's not American. She's from the Western world, but, this is why, like, you people who are considering Paraguay are serious individuals. You're the smartest out of so many of the expats who are moving around the world. So many just think very short are short-minded thinkers, right? They're not thinking super long term. Paraguay is one of the best places to move long term, etc. So I'm not going to say too much more. I will pause it here and there to react. So Lenna Dallin, I believe she just pronounced her name. Let's start over here.
Hello, my name's Lenna Dallin, and I'd like to read the Dream Test Drive Retirement Overseas with International Living magazine. This is a typical day in Victoria, British Columbia. Not very inspiring. And it's like this for a good portion of the year. As a matter of fact, people go indoors about September and they don't come out again until probably June. So anyway, it's pretty bleak. And along with the bleak weather, we sort of have a bleak government too. We're the capital city for the province, and as such, our government likes to use us as an example. So they're pretty punitive, and every bit of our life is fairly closely scrutinized. So anyway, to that, we're basically still a destination location. We are for the rest of Canada and for the U.S. in fact too, and other parts of the world. People come here to retire because it is temperate, even if it is dreary. And we do have a good infrastructure for aging. And although I know a lot of people around the world think that Canada has an amazing health system, but in fact we don't. A lot of the privileges that we once had have been clawed back to the point now where people wait a good long time for non-life-threatening surgeries. And so we're seeing our privileges that we've enjoyed for many, many, many years in this country being slowly clawed away. Our dental care is very expensive here. Everything is going up except for the average person's wages. So it's becoming more and more expensive to stay here. Victoria actually is one of the most expensive locations in Canada. An average home is between $550,000 and $600,000. So you have to be fairly well off even just to come here. So it tends to drive all our children away to other parts of the country, and so that's not all that great either.
Okay, that last point that she said. Okay, I'm gonna break more of this down. That last point that she said, you guys, these prices are driving our children away. This woman is very, very aware of even if she has it and her husband have it, the next generation suffers. These are that's why and I'll break down more of her context, what she's talking about, but that's why like some of you are lucky enough to not feel the crunch of this economy. Very few of you, but and it's mostly the older generations, which is fine. You guys did good. You did everything you're supposed to do to be successful in life. But people, and those people many times are your own children. They're your own nephews. They're your own nieces. They're your own younger people in your lives. They're your coworkers. They're your everybody. So people may be doing good, right, around you. But a lot aren't. And you want to be in society where even if people aren't doing well around you, there's at least a community. There's at least more collaborative efforts and holistic collaborative efforts. Not just like you need to do that and then I need something in return all the time. Like it's not just like zero-sum game efforts. Like I'm talking about like holistic community type efforts. And I actually will give it away at this point, but she did this 12 years ago, you guys. And actually when I saw this even just a couple of years ago, I didn't pay attention to the date, and I was like, oh, this could be in 2022, right? As she's talking about, but it's not, and so she's already seen these prices become absurd where she's from, where her and her husband, I don't think she's mentioned that yet, but where they live in Canada, in British Columbia. And I believe she just said it hit over $500,000. Well, guys, in my county, right, houses just hit over $500,000. My generation, and I did most things right. I went to college and did all this bullshit they told me to do. There's no way in hell I can even afford my parents' house. If I were to go towards that, you know what I mean? There's no way most of us can. I grew up in a middle class neighborhood, but that middle class neighborhood is so incredibly outpriced, and I'm not the only one. This is everybody. You know what I mean? So what are most people doing? Most people are giving up. Most people are not crunching numbers. I'm talking about younger generations here. Most people are not thinking about this stuff, at least in a serious manner. Most people are on TikTok. Most people are playing video games. Most people are just like, we'll figure it out later. You guys, us 90s babies, this is later. I just turned 33. I mean, how much longer do you guys want to wait to figure out an affordable lifestyle? Like, seriously, I'm talking to couples. I'm talking to single guys. I'm talking to single women. You know what I mean? Hell, I'm talking to families. Like, I'm anyone, man. Anyone who has any ounce of like of willpower to be able to like figure something out to just get out of America or Canada. Like she's like where she's from. Um and oh, what she was telling too. I imagine the winters are just unbearable. Uh, I know a lot of my followers are from the southern states. Uh, and they don't experience winters like we do in Wisconsin and places like Illinois, wherever the whole northern part of the states. But what she's talking about with the dreariness, you guys, it's not dreary here, but we have horrifically long and extremely cold winters in Wisconsin, and that takes a real mental toll on you every single year. And I just told myself I am not going through one more winter uh, dealing with the stuff I'm dealing with, dealing with this economy, dealing with like I've already testified to you guys, like heartbreaking loneliness. And I made that promise that I'm not dating here in America. It's just not worth it to me. For all those reasons I mentioned in the last video and the other video. So, but it's also like this last year, my rent got raised $200, right? And student loans came back. And on top of that, inflation. They say the numbers like at 21% for the last 3 years, but I follow another guy, super dope YouTuber, Michael Bordenero, who actually breaks down the true numbers of how things were actually measured correctly back in the 80s and the 90s. And true inflation numbers are around 40%, you guys. Okay? And that's not even, and they're not including house prices in that. Hell no. No, this is regular stuff. This is electricity. Man, this is the food. This is everything. Hell, pet costs. You know what I mean? Like, everything. So, this is all part of, when the American dream, we're talking about the Western Canadian, all of our dreams, man. So many of us were just like, okay, stand for the American flag, say the Pledge of Allegiance, do everything you're supposed to do, and then you're supposed to have a good life. Okay, well, that only applied to the boomers, at least in mass. That only applied semi to Gen X. That only applies to a very small portion of millennials, and then that only applies to even very tiny portion of Gen Z, and then Gen Alpha. Oh man, pray for them, man, for real. But like, hopefully they come across some of these videos that some of us like this wonderful woman went on her rant 12 years ago. I'm going on mine, giving my thoughts and opinions about like the urgency. This is more urgent than ever, you guys. You are throwing away money just living here, surviving. So and actually I do want to say something that to a lot of my undocumented homies and friends. I know that you guys got a different situation, that if you were to ever move, I know that unless like get in a marriage or something like that you can't come back. And I want to be very empathetic towards that. I know that I'm talking to people who are naturalized citizens up in their countries where they do have the ability to hold on to their passport and get residency, but also have the ability to come back, just like I do. You know what I mean? But I do want to mention that to all the homies out there who are going through it, and because of legal reasons they're unable to pursue something like this. I have quite a few homies who married, naturalized citizens, whatever. And they got their papers now. But even like actually when she was doing this, most people I knew, like they're still in that process and all that. So my heart goes out to a lot of you people who like this is not a possibility, or like you would have to take even more steps for it to become a real possibility. Um, Anyways, I know that was another tangent, but it's important because I do want to distinguish that there are this is a privilege, but utilize these things, you guys. Okay, let's keep going. Sorry, ma'am. I completely went off on a million tangents here.
Anyway, we do have a decent art and cultural community here in Victoria. And we're big into sports. We're big into animals.
Victoria.
We tend to carry a lot of those old Victorian values with us, and we do have some very quaint, areas of the town that still remain. So I've been reading International Living for some time and have already been convinced that I'd like to make a move to retire in a better climate. I'm a realtor, and while we haven't seen the same kind of devastation that has happened in the US here in Canada, we certainly have felt the many of our sectors of industry are slowing down. There's a general malaise here in specifically here in Victoria that I'm aware of, where people are really afraid to come out and make any commitment to a new home, move up or move down, or to make any moves at all because of the information that we're getting from the US and from Europe. And so it's kind of stagnated our market, and we've pretty much been at in a buyer's market now for quite some time. And people are having to drop the prices of their house considerably, and a lot of people are just choosing to stay where they are.
Okay, what she was just saying, I'm just gonna say this straight up, man. I think your average Canadian is smarter than your average American. I think that they take much more into consideration before buying a house. So many of us, we buy houses purely off of emotion, purely keeping up with the Joneses, purely keeping up with, oh my God, I reached this age, so I got to have this thing now. You know what I mean? I mean, and maybe I'm completely wrong, but let's be honest here, man. Us Americans, we are emotional children sometimes. When we be doing this, it's like, yeah, well, okay, now I got a job now, so I deserve everything. You know what I mean? Or like, I reached this age now, so I gotta have everything that everybody else has. You know what I mean? Like all the material stuff. Okay, I'll let her keep going. I had to say that though, man, you know why though? Michael Bordenero brought into his statistics on one of his walk and talks. Wonderful guy down in Southern Florida who talks purely on the economy and economic related topics. He was saying that the stats since those who have bought since the pandemic, 64% of people have buyer's remorse after buying a house. Okay, 64%, you guys. That's almost two. That's 2 out of 3. All right, you know what I mean. So it's like, are we making the best decisions, or are we just gonna get that house just because the bank says, okay, now you have enough? Dude, you're gonna trust the bank? You're gonna trust like some of these realtors? I'm sure she's a wonderful realtor, but who will actually keep it honest with you and be like, okay, you can do this, but you're gonna be pushing it with like your property taxes and the HOAs, and I don't even know if they have HOAs in Canada. I'm sure they do. Hopefully they're not as predatory as they are here. Property taxes, HOAs, what else? Upkeep, maintenance costs. No, what else? What else am I missing, guys? For houses, whatever. I know I'm missing a whole nother cost, but point is like you don't add the interest rates, duh. People don't add this stuff up, you guys. Most people don't. Most people don't understand the complexities of buying a house. Hell, even I didn't, even just a few years ago, right? On my housing video that I show you guys some houses in Paraguay, some things can get lost in translation, which I try to explain in the description below when I talk about like the senya, which is the equivalent to like not the bank down payment, but the down payment that you get to the owner, which is like the oh my God, I have it written in my description. Why am I forgetting the word? Shoot, I'm sorry, guys. But anyways, it's that tinier amount they give to the owner. That's not part of the bank financing or the bank down payment or the down payment that you give to the bank, right? It's not that. It's a separate thing. So, anyways, things can get lost in translation, but but people don't even have basic knowledge or understanding of how to buy a house in your own country and all the costs that come along with it. So, but like I'm sure in Canada, the HOA thing, and in Paraguay, there's very, very few neighborhoods that have like true HOAs. Like you're so much more free to just do what you want. That's kind of why you'll see like a random big house kind of just plopped up on somewhere that somebody just wanted a piece of land. It's like, oh, but it doesn't. But the shutters don't match the other house. We're gonna give you a fine. Those aren't the right flowers. Like, bro, come on, man. They ain't gonna do that stuff up in like most Latin American countries. Like, they don't care that much. You can be more free, man. Like, Jesus, like, and the fact that people don't even need to think about that in America. Like, you already have 10,000 problems. Now you got to worry about what flowers you can and cannot plant. Like, come on, man. Like, get out of here with that. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. I'm totally butchering your video, ma'am, with all my thoughts. But hey,
my husband is a GP here, and he should be retired now. He's well past the age of retirement, but if he wants to stay here, he simply can't afford to do that, and he won't be able to do that for some time to come, if ever. So I've been thrashing around and looking for a better answer for us. And from my reading of international living, I've kind of located that general area of Ecuador, Nicaragua, Panama, and Costa Rica. And I would love to be down in that area to get a feeling for what life is like there. It would certainly be nicer to be in a community where I can get out and every day and walk around and see people out with their children and smiling and brighter colors and just a general happier atmosphere just to wake up every day and would be nice. So that's what I look forward to when I move down there. And not only the fact that it is cheaper, but for the fact that it's just an all-round better quality of life.
Absolutely. You guys, I mean, when I follow Bo Refik at Tribe of Men, and he talks about this when he went to Romania, and a lot of people actually compare Eastern Europe to Latin America because there's so many of the same traditional vibes. Eastern Europe is semi more expensive, but what she's talking about, it feels like you're in the 90s again. Like malls are like how they're supposed to be. People are walking around. People aren't just like slaves to their iPhones. Like people interact. Children interact. Parks are full, and they're not full of crackheads and needles all over the ground. San Francisco, freaking the West Coast. I'm not trying to. Nah, it ain't just the West Coast. Hell, it's even here like 3 blocks away. I can't even go to the freaking my library to print out some sheets without getting, hey bro, you got some money, bro? Bro, my car broke down, bro. It's like, bro, you don't even have a fucking car. Shut your lying ass up. Or just like, I'm so sick of it, man. And that makes me sound like pretty Republican, but believe me, I'm not. But like, but dude, I'm so sick of it, man. And like our homeless, like they know not to be bothering too much, like people, man. They know that, man. Like, and like, and Paraguay is different. It's not no Brazil where we just have like, or they just have like gigantic slums and stuff. Like we have our tiny little like chacarita, like tiny little like what I guess the world would consider like baby slums or whatever. But like even in the slums, dude, there's still like solid communities. And I'm not saying that like other slums in the world there's not solid communities, but like solid communities that like at least really try to keep a lot of the BS down, man. And actually, what you as foreigners, if you start wandering like kind of stupidly to some of these like baby slums that like are kind of in the historic part of Asuncion, people will tell you, they'll stop you and be like, hey, be careful, don't go down the street, or if you do, be very careful, don't be having nothing out and all that stuff, and especially not at night, you know what I mean? But local Paraguayans will stop you and be like, peligroso. You know what I mean? Like, so they will tell you, man. And that's love, dude. That's love. Like, if you were to go in the middle of like New York somewhere, or like Paris or something, you start wandering around, you're getting on the wrong stuff, and like, man, ain't nobody gonna care. Buenos Aires, I mean, maybe, maybe, but most people are just like involved in their own, man. But anyways, what she was saying, quality of life. People are lively. It's nice weather. People are out. People are still talking to one another. People ain't just like all up in their games and their phones and always worried, walking around like with chickens with their head cut off and stuff, like we are up in the West. Okay.
So, that being said, I'm curious about Ecuador and like I say, Panama and Costa Rica, because the reports I've seen have been that, their hospitals are second to none, and they have lots of bright sunny days, and there's lots of choice in the kind of weather that you choose to live in. You can live up higher in the mountains, or you can live closer to the water. Pretty much have a choice of how hot you want to be. I like the idea that I'd be able to have a garden. It sounds like they have a wonderful growing season and very nice crops. Anyway, for me, just to be out and about watching people go about their day with a smile on their face would be amazingly joyful for me. So inviting weather just, demands that you get out and enjoy it. And I would certainly like nothing better than to invite my family and friends and my possible new friends to join me there. So I look forward to seeing the results of this contest, and I hope that I will win it, because I would dearly love to do this for International Living and for myself. Goodbye.
Ma'am, wonderful video. Salute to you. I mean, you guys, in 6 minutes, I mean, she has more logic than 95% of this country. You know what I mean? I mean, she broke it all down perfectly. The economy, the houses, people feel more free. People are not just slaves to their iPhones, and people are actually outdoors, and people are like interacting in malls, and you can actually approach somebody without being like, "Oh my God, are you a creep?" Like, like not everybody's just out for each other and just scared of each other all the time, and you know what I mean. But I will just those last comparisons though with like the healthcare. Paraguay has a long way to go with the healthcare. Now you should still get your private healthcare, especially if you're in your older years, right? Definitely get on a private healthcare plan. It's super affordable. In fact, my lawyer was telling me like I think plans can go down to even like $30-40 a month for individuals, for private. Don't quote me on that. That could be super basic. I don't know. So like, make sure this is whatever your needs are, right? Especially if you got like specific stuff going on. So Paraguay does have quite a bit of work to go in the healthcare section, but it's still going in the right way, direction. Slowly though, the healthcare stuff. But infrastructure is going up. It's wonderful, man. Asuncion is beautiful these days. The high rises and the skyline is, man. It's so much different than like when I started going even just 12 years ago. You know what I mean? There was like a handful of buildings. Now it's like, I don't know, dozens on dozens of like high rises and these aren't just for like it's not like China where they're just like they build like a whole bunch right next to each other and nobody lives in them absolutely at all because it was all just like whatever money, slush money or whatever. It's like, no, people actually will live in these one day. It's kind of slow going off, but they're building them for reasons. These are good investments for the rich to build up their high rises and stuff. It's Asuncion's lively. I know a lot of people like, oh, it's so boring. I'm like, dude, it still has open restaurants, open bars, like every single night of the week. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, because a lot of people are like, oh, well, why isn't there just a water parks absolutely everywhere and carnivals like there is in Brazil? And why aren't there just concerts on a daily basis? Why aren't people just catering to me at every second of every hour? And I just can't have endless possibilities of just like, I'm like, bro, go out in the campo. Shut up, man. Get out in nature. You know, Paraguay. Okay, then. If you want to go to Disney World, then go to Disney World. You know, pay your top American dollars. Waste all your money. Don't get residency then. You know what I mean? Like if you're so like, then go to Brazil if you want a carnival like all the time. Like you know, or if you're a weekend warrior beach bro or whatever, like just like super basic like you know like that kind of dude like all right then just go on the beaches, get stupidly drunk, and then don't invest in anything important in life. Well, whatever, man. That's your that's your decision. But this woman, she's giving you seriously good advice, man. And this is 12 years ago, and this is why I say she predicted the future. I don't. She didn't even know this. She's just giving her testimony. I think this is. She was saying that this is for like a contest to be able to like I don't know, get a plane ticket or something. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But the point is that she's thinking in the right direction. So we're gonna do her little 2-minute breakdown. Her weather gives us just a little bit more context. Oh, I didn't realize these chapters here. See, actually, okay. Well, yeah, there's not many. Um, and actually, I am two of these 3 subscribers right here on my whatever personal thing, and then my best life out of why. So anyway, we're gonna go on this one. She gives a little bit more context about stuff.
I'd like to win a dream test drive retirement overseas with international living because this.
Okay, that's what it is. Okay, so it's like a I don't know package or something like that, so you can start out international living. I don't know. That's not the point though. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about her mindset. You know.
This is a typical day here in Victoria from about the end of September to July. Not very inspiring. Along with the bleak weather, Victoria is a government town and tries to set an example for the rest of the province, tending to be overly restrictive in every aspect of our life. It is still a destination location for retirees because there is very little.
Okay, over restrictive with our lives. Okay, I am absolutely going to touch on that. You know why? Where I live in the capital. I'm going to finally give it away. I live in Madison, Wisconsin, you guys, the capital of Wisconsin. And I mean, most of our Western countries, I mean, we have so much rules, ordinances. Like I was just saying with the HOAs, like it can't be this color, or this color, or this flower, or that flower, or this shutter, or that shutter, this design, or that design. Oh my God, you're gonna break some rules. You know what I mean? But like, okay, so let me give you an example from my city, right? Where I live downtown, right? Guess how many jurisdictions like touch downtown? Okay, so I live a couple blocks away from the capital, like the literal capital, right? So, all right, I'm going to try to break this down as best I can. So we got the Capitol Police, right? It's its own thing. Capitol Police that have their jurisdiction around the capital area, right? We got the University Police because we have the biggest university in the state here, University of Wisconsin-Madison, where I went. And they have their jurisdiction that also touches around here, okay? Then we got the city of Madison police, right? So they have jurisdiction over the entire city of Madison. Okay. And then a few blocks away, guess what else we have? We have the Dane County Sheriff's Office, right? And then all the deputies under them, right? That's not including the state police that also come. They have their building down here as well. Which no, they're separate from the Capitol Police. The state police and like the patrol and stuff, they're different too, you know. And just in case that wasn't enough, just in case you guys, you know, just in case those weren't enough, then we got the feds, you know, that'll clean up anything that's like over any crazy stuff going on, and that's not even including like, and that's just laws. That's not including like ordinances, whatever. You know what I mean? Like stupid little stuff like that. That is just like you live in these societies, and not to mention the surveillance state. Like I don't know. She didn't really touch on that, but there's another guy that hit me up that did about like Australia, and I've actually seen 60 Minutes Australia about like damn their surveillance situation is like similar to ours, and a couple other places around the world like South Korea and stuff. But I mean, you don't feel free, man. It's like, dang, dude. Like, there's so many entities that like you have to navigate or at least understand or at least like try to not f with, and they won't f with you, hopefully, you know what I mean. But then you got to deal with like your person of color, and especially the darker you are, like mistreatment and all that stuff and racism and all that stuff. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole because I know you guys don't want to hear it because you guys are gonna call me woke and be like, racism doesn't exist and stuff. I'm gonna be like, come on, bruh. Like, you want to go there with me? Nah, no, you don't. Of course it does. Don't be dumb. You know what I mean? But you know, and I actually have my. Nah, I'm not even gonna go there. I'll say that for another time. But you know, it's too much, dude. It's too much. I don't know all the jurisdictions out where she's from, but it's if she, as a middle class white lady, and I don't know what race or ethnicity her husband is, but you know, if she's talking about it, it must be serious. All right, so let's keep going.
Snow in the winter. There's a decent art and cultural community and a solid infrastructure for aging populations. Okay. Victoria is also a university town, which brings students and their parents here to oftentimes to stay. I have been reading international living for some time and have already been convinced that I'd like to make my retirement in a sunnier location than here. I'm a realtor, and while we haven't seen the same devastation here as in the U.S., the U.S. is still our largest trading partner and has caused economic difficulties for most sectors here in Canada as well. My husband is a GP and works a ridiculous number of hours in a week with no hope of retiring anytime soon, as the cost of living is so high. Victoria is one of the most expensive locations in the country. For us to retire here, we would have to seriously alter our lifestyle and live a very simple existence. I've worked too hard for too long to retire on the fringes of society.
Hell yeah, man. You say it again. I worked I'm too tired to work too long to retire in the fringes of society. I think I got that right. No, but absolutely. You guys, I mean, what's life to work to just what? To suffer later? You know, and that's why I don't say this enough. I don't say this enough at all, actually. But moving abroad is your retirement plan as well. Okay, yeah, you still got to figure out income and all that stuff, right? But you know what the number is right now for millennials, and I think it's even more for Gen Z. The number right now for millennials to retire comfortably. Go look this up yourselves. $1.3 million. How much you guys got saved up in your mid-30s? Whatever. Say you're around my age. How much you got saved up? Anything close to that? Didn't think so. What about another 10 years? Didn't think so. All right. So what you can do is you can go to a lower cost of living country. That is wonderful, as this woman's been talking about. Her region was the Panama, Ecuador, Colombia region that she was talking about. We'll get into. I'll say those thoughts at the end, but the important part is that it takes significantly less money, and not only that, right? But you could actually retire off of Social Security. I know it's almost an impossible thought. And, you know, my grandma, who lives in the south side of Milwaukee, she lived in the hood, right? A Polish white lady, you know, stayed in her crib. That my grandpa, she didn't do the whole white flight thing like many did. When they all moved to the suburbs and stuff, my grandma stayed where my grandfather had his factory job, you know, in the south side of Milwaukee. Shout out to Little Poland Town, which is now Little Mexico. And, you know, Little Mexico is dope. They had a lot of love for my grandma. May she rest in peace. You know, you know, and she was a very humble, frugal woman, you guys. And Social Security still didn't do it. Now, luckily, she has some successful kids that like definitely looked out for her. My dad did, you know, and her other two kids, they made sure that she didn't lack anything. You know, she was a wonderful woman in her life. She deserved to be taken care of, and that's exactly what they did. And they looked out for her, and they, you know, so she was okay, right? But to like try to maintain any sort of lifestyle like this. Um, I mean, you pretty much need to strive to be the very, very, very best up in any one, whatever field you're working in. So if you're in construction, you better try to get to that CEO level and have your own construction company, not just be a worker your whole life. If you're in education, you better try to be a principal. You better try to be in a serious like officer of finance administrator up in the K through 12 administration. You better try to be that chancellor up in up in university level. You better try to be that ultra or I mean, you better try to pursue something like doctor, lawyer, CEO. I mean, those guys are the ones who, and women are the ones who are going to set to retire comfortably and reach that $1.3 billion number. Now, what the numbers that I would say, if you're able to, otherwise, pick up out a wife, pick a Philippines, pick something like that, a Thailand, pick a another Latin American country that's at least decent these days. Oh, I'm super biased for Paraguay, but I guess proximity. Pick somewhere in Mexico that's not overly expensive. Pick somewhere in, believe it or not, I would even say El Salvador. I don't know their whole residency. I don't know how nice they are bringing in foreigners. I think it's getting better. Because they really cleaned up their gang stuff. I would even say like a Nicaragua. I would say like a Panama is it's too much, too expensive, and plus their rules are just getting ridiculous. I would say maybe Colombia if you stay in the smaller towns, smaller cities, you don't go where all the other expats go. Uruguay is nice if you got money, but if you don't, it can be expensive. Argentina, you can go to Argentina, but the thing is, it's just so unpredictable, man. Like, if they really get their act together for like a solid 20 years straight, maybe then I'll be like, okay, all right, guys, consider Argentina. And now, yeah, you can invest and like do some stuff like now, but like, I don't know, man. They're just like, they don't know what they're doing in Argentina. Brazil, I don't speak Portuguese. This is just not my culture. So I personally, I wouldn't do Brazil, but some of you guys would love Brazil, I'm sure. But again, stick to the tinier towns, tinier cities. Don't go where everybody goes. Then you're just gonna be paying like a Cancun price. But the smart people are like gonna live in like Merida, Mexico. That's just like a Mexican reference. But pick a spot because like she's saying, like I can see the urgency that she's talking about, like and the seriousness she's talking about, like her and her husband need to pick a place on earth because she doesn't want to live like counting pennies until the day you die. What kind of life is that? Just counting pennies like, oh my God, are we going to have enough to eat tomorrow at like 88 years old? You know what I mean? Or hopefully, we all get up to like something like that or longer, 100. Let's all strive for 100, you guys. But I mean, come on, man. Like, anyways, I'm sorry, man. Let's continue.
Curious about Ecuador, Costa Rica, and the Panama area because of the reports I've read in International Living. What I expect to find in these locations are modern hospitals, affordable housing and food, and most important, bright sunny days and happy people. For me, just to be out and about, watching people go about their day with a smile would be a joy. I intend to stay active to a great age, and warm, inviting weather demands you get out and soak it up. I would like nothing better than to convince my friends, family, and potential friends to join me in paradise.
Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Short and sweet. I know that was for a, whatever, like a package to relocate or something like that. Doesn't matter. The more important part is her mindset. The more important part are the actions. The more important part is not being delusional. Like so many of us are, like, oh, well, I'm not even going to think about it. It stresses me out. Well, you know what stresses me out? Having a effed up future, man. Having a future where I'm just like, dude, I can't even afford a house until I'm like 50, let alone like a family, let alone like this or that. Yeah, I haven't even thrown the fucking family numbers at you. I just threw in retirement. That's if you're, you know, it's so depressing, you guys. Like, it's just like you add all this stuff up, and it's just like, I mean, like I said, you better try to be the very best in your field. You better be trying to do all these hustles, man. You better have your YouTube channel, man. You better have this and that and that and this going, and like be writing books. I mean, you better be doing absolutely everything if you're going to stay in America, or you're going to stay in Canada, where she's from, British Columbia, Victoria specifically, I think she said. I mean, come on, guys. Like, let's get real here. Like, if you're not even budgeting in the next 5 years, let alone 10 or 15 or 20, and if you're not like looking like, okay, how much do kids cost? How much is retirement gonna cost? And real quickly, I'll just say, like, if you had like $10,000, but we're assuming Paraguay is your home base, right? And you're eventually gonna get a Social Security check after 65. If you had like 10 G's per year for the rest of your life, you're living amazing. I mean, you could even travel. I mean, maybe not like super luxurious, like on private jets or anything, but you could at least travel, like, especially throughout like South America. Like, you could take like 3-4 solid trips. You know what I mean? Like a year, like up in your 70s, 80s and stuff. And that's the American dream, you guys. That's the world dream. That's the Western dream. That's the Canadian dream. That's the Australian dream, New Zealand dream, UK dream. That is the dream, right? When I think about my life here, if I were to stay here, if I were to do the rat race, if I were to just to accept that inflation just already hit 40 plus percent in the last 3-4 years, and just keep accepting that, and just keep accepting interest rates and house prices just astronomical. You know, even in the place I grew up, I'm not trying to live in no freaking Manhattan. I'm not even trying to live in like Chicago. I'm not trying to live in nowhere fancy. I'm not even like trying to live nowhere fancy. I just want to live. But even just living, dude, I mean, those who pay attention to numbers, those who aren't delusional, those who calculate things, those who want to figure stuff out, I mean, you guys are going to have to leave. Or don't. Or whatever, man. Just whatever. Waste your money. Go out. Pretend like everything's gonna be okay. But in 10 years from now, I'll be like, look, man. Those who know me, like, come on, man. I've been telling you this stuff, like, even before I was even considering like that. Like, I always knew. Like, I was mentioning my last or 2 videos ago, I was telling Aaron, I always knew I would go to Paraguay. I just thought it would be pretty much to retire, right? But the reason I'm pursuing it now, I mean, there's a few reasons, right? But like I mean, pretty much number one is economic, more so than anything else, right? Yeah, even more so than like my identity and culture and all that, even more so than that, right? Which is where we all kind of come together, and so I guess people can play the game. I pray that you guys get all the promotions and all you get all the bumps in salaries, and you make $15,000 every single other next 2 years, and the next 2 years, and the next 2 years, and then you end up at 150, then you end up at 200, then you end up at 250K. But come on, dude. We know the actual numbers. The actual numbers, most Americans make around like 50K. Okay. And then say you even have a healthy relationship, anything even close to a healthy relationship, then you're at 100K. What does 100K even get you anymore? You're not retiring nice. You can barely afford kids. I mean, even the upper middle class is struggling. When the upper middle class struggles, how is the normal middle class or lower middle class gonna get there? I don't know. You tell me. I've done these numbers. I've crunched them. I mean, especially like millennials, right? Gen Z has a little bit more time, but it's even bleaker if Gen Z doesn't really get on this. At least they have more information at their fingertips. It's up to them if they want to use it or not. For most of us, like some of the more serious YouTube channels, like have came sort of in the last kind of years. You know what I mean? Like it was mostly like clown around, maybe some politics and stuff in here and there, but like people who have like serious mindsets, who are like serious movers, serious relocators, like this woman and her husband here. These are the people who are gonna actually live good. And I bet you, like, I brought up that 64% of people have buyer's remorse about buying a house. Well, you can have buyer's or remorse for not doing stuff in life too, you guys. You know what I mean? You can have remorse for like not pursuing your dreams. You can have remorse for like, dang man, oh, I knew I should have got residency in whatever, Paraguay, Colombia, Mexico. I knew I should have, man. I can't afford shit right now. I'm gonna damn near have to go homeless, like in my 60s, 70s, live in a car, have to call up my son or daughter if I even have that, and live with them, and then overburden them, or I'm gonna have to, do this and that, and I'm just like, it breaks my heart, man, because so many people just think everything is just gonna be sweet. It's just gonna be sweet. It's just gonna be sweet. Everything's gonna be okay. Things are gonna go back to normal. No, nothing's going back to normal, dude. There's no politician. There's no political party that can fix this stuff. This is done, dude. And like I said, there's a few of you. I mean, statistically, a few of you that are going to be able to play the American Dream brat race and be okay. Maybe not super fine, but even those people, like even so my brother's a doctor and he married a doctor, and they actually have a wonderful relationship, and they just had a kid, and she's more traditional, and that's probably why they have a more wonderful relationship. You know what I mean? And he's super just like, just on his dreams. But even he was like, yeah, I'm absolutely, I'm gonna have a plan B. It may not be Paraguay, but it may be somewhere else in the world. And I know for sure he's gonna pursue it. So like, if successful people, and this woman's a realtor. I forgot what she says her husband does, but all right, I'm gonna put it back on the full screen here. But point is just like, man, just for the love of God, man, at least like get a residency card. It'll be the best couple $1,000s you ever spent in your life. Cause then, like, you don't know what rules are going to change. I can't predict them for you either. I'm sorry. I wish I could be like, oh, in 5 years from now, it's going to cost this much and this much. And you're I don't know. I have no idea. Right. This is way above me. But, start taking this stuff seriously, you guys. Yeah, I mean, I'll I won't say too much about this, but like, I'll be able to help some of you guys, hopefully relatively soon here, obtain residency, those who are, those who are looking, etc. I don't care, even if you don't work with me, like that's not the point. The point is that, for the love of God, at least start making it a backup plan. At least have it in your pocket for retirement. At least maybe think about an investment. Maybe think about that $30,000 house, right? Instead of throwing $30,000 in Bitcoin or some Wall Street stock, maybe get a crib. Then maybe find some person you absolutely trust to take care of it and Airbnb it for you until you have the ability to move there yourself or something. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of you guys who are you're going to move way more money than I have moving. But that is good for you, man. Good for you. Like, and pave the way, man. Pave the way. I don't even have all the answers. Like, I research this stuff day in and day out, and I live it and all that stuff, and I'm a month away from my dreams, and you guys are gonna just see me, like, my happiness just skyrocket like times a million once I get to my country. But here, let me put her name right back up again here. But anyways, like Lenna Dallin, I think you said, was saying, man, like, and she's at retirement age or near retirement age in this video 12 years ago. Oh, and in fact, ma'am, if you watch this, I hope you do. Uh, please give me your thoughts. Hopefully you like my breakdown. Hopefully. That was really suck if you didn't agree with anything I just said, even though we have obviously the same mindset uh, on like moving abroad and stuff. Whether you're younger, whether you're in the middle age, whether you're older, doesn't matter, man. It's becoming a necessity. You know what I mean? And I'd love to know where you're at these days, Lena. I'm so sorry. I'm butchering your name. Hear it like every single time I say it. But I would love to know if you made it. You and your husband made it to Ecuador. And I'm assuming the reason that you're following my channel is because you're probably looking for other places to move again. It's a total assumption. I have no idea. But if you are, hey, Paraguay. Paraguay is a good for couples. Good for retirement. The healthcare can improve, but you'll be able to have affordable private options for that kind of stuff. I'm sure if you have moved to Ecuador, I'm sure you guys' Spanish has improved immensely. That'll be wonderful. That'll be great for you because there's not that many English speakers in Paraguay, right? Um, and yeah, I would love for you to come on the channel here. We can do interview if you'd like, to see where you're at. I really wish that there are more updates to your life. I would love to know. I hope you and your husband are both well. Seriously, I hope so. And if you see this, I don't know if you have like your info. I'll once I have the video link, and I'll email it to you or whatnot. Whatever. You totally don't feel pressured if you don't want to like come on the channel and tell us about your life. People are private, more private than me. I kind of put everything out there now, I guess, these days. Uh, but wonderful takes. I say she predicted the future, not just for Canada, not just for British Columbia, specifically in Victoria, where she's from. But I truly think that this woman had the answers 12 years ago, and it was already going in the wrong direction. And things like the pandemic exacerbated that wrong direction in the States, everywhere. You guys are hitting me up from everywhere around the world, being like, man, I'm fed up. I'm fed up. I'm fed up. I'm like, dang. Like, I didn't even think I would meet so many people around the world, man, like that. Like-minded, wonderful, smart, intelligent travelers, relocators, expatriators, repatriators. You guys are super cool, man. I mean, not only are you some of the most logical people on this planet, but like, yeah, and like intelligent and critical thinkers. But I mean, yeah, I just love being around like and hearing from you guys. And I just like, kind of randomly click on some of you guys have all kinds of YouTube channels, and I'm glad I came across yours. The Raven Canadian, I love it. Okay, and guys, subscribe to your channel. If I were to give you maybe, and it's completely up to you, completely up to you. But if you want to do life updates, you guys go to her channel, subscribe. Maybe she'll put a life update out for me to react to. I hope you're doing well. Let me know if you want to come on the channel. You can let me know via email. You can let me know on Instagram. You can let me know on Facebook. All of my stuff is My Best Life Paraguay. MyBestLifeParaguay@gmail.com. Feel free to hit me up. If you don't, hey, no offense. No offense taken from my end. If you completely just want to, do your own thing, and that this was just a thing for you to retire, I totally understand that. Okay, you guys, I already talked your ear off. So another long video for you, wonderful ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So, like I said, I'm a month out. I'll try to get my econ video out there before I move. I don't know though. To be honest, I have a lot of stuff to do, man. A lot of this stuff has to go like pretty immediately too. Um, yeah, but I'll be in Paraguay. I know a couple of you want to meet up. Yeah, I'll see what time I got. To do all that. But you guys are wonderful. Thanks for subscribing. Please subscribe. Please hit that like. Please share this video if you liked it. I know my takes are very long. I know my takes are very in depth, pretty intuitive, and all that kind of stuff. But hopefully you can latch on certain things, like certain things, or if not, that's fine. You ain't hurting my feelings, man. I'm just really like, happy for those who do follow me, who do like to think about this stuff. Um, yeah, you guys are awesome. Okay, yeah. All right, you guys. All right, I'm out. Ryan Aranda, follow me. My best life, Paraguay. Live your best life. Take the steps to live your best life. All right, you guys. Okay, how do I stop this thing? All right, I'm out of here, you guys.